From Hamilton's million-dollar scandals to his dark past that almost ruined his life, these are the things you didn't know about Lewis. And first up is how Hamilton reacts to losing a race. Earlier in his career, losing had a bad impact on his mental health. When asked about how much it upset him, Lewis revealed an insane amount. It was unhealthy. I remember after the race, I would just have the biggest headache. And you're under like the biggest dark cloud. I hardly ate and I just stayed in silence. Losing really depressed him, but whenever he's still feeling low, he can always use his exquisite car collection to feel better. Hamilton doesn't collect cars, only supercars. He has at least 15 vehicles in his collection, including a Pagani Zonda, McLaren F1, Shelby Cobra, and some Ferraris. But here's the catch, he doesn't drive any of them. That's right, Hamilton revealed that the climate and environmental impact is why he doesn't drive them anymore, as he's been working to reduce his carbon footprint. I don't drive any of the cars I own anymore, I only drive my electric Mercedes EQC. But while Hamilton doesn't drive anymore, he still manages to get in trouble. Just a month after missing out on the World Championship in his rookie season, Hamilton was pulled over after he was caught traveling at 121 miles per hour in the north of France, and as such had his license suspended for a month. But that is nothing, because years later, he also got investigated for recording himself while riding a motorbike, which is strictly illegal in Melbourne. Another time, he even got fined and infuriated local road safety activists and an Australian lawmaker for doing burnouts in Melbourne. But fortunately, he just received a £288 fine for it. Damn, Lewis got lucky. But this wasn't the only time he got lucky, because when Lewis was about to start his F1 career, McLaren wasn't his first choice. Back in 2004, 19-year-old Hamilton had a falling out with McLaren after the management blocked his move to GP2 and insisted he stay in Formula 3. Prepared to walk away from the team, Hamilton and his father Anthony visited Williams Racing Factory to get a deal. Unfortunately, Williams was unable to sign him because of their engine partner BMW, who could not provide enough funding. The co-founder of Williams, Patrick Head, even said, they rang up and said, "Can we come and see you?" We were with BMW at the time, and I think Frank ran Mario Tyson, BMW's their motorsport director, and said, "Look, this guy looks as if he could be pretty good, and whatever, and he has come to us saying can we help him?" And I think Mario said they weren't prepared to provide any support, and we weren't in a position financially where we could finance his racing. Wow. Just imagine if Hamilton went to Williams. I wonder if he still could have won any world championships. But even though he did win several of them, the way he celebrates the championship is, let's just say, a bit different than what other F1 champs do. Hamilton confessed that the best way he enjoys winning championships is by skydiving. The British driver has enjoyed many skydiving sessions, as he's jumped out of the plane more than 10 times. Well, now that's one way to celebrate. But while his championship celebrations are a bit different, he still has one thing in common with all other F1 drivers: his extravagant party life. Hamilton has been considered a playboy who has gotten caught with various models and female celebrities many times. With his multi-million-dollar salary and many endorsements, Hamilton is able to own many luxurious things. One of them being the 91.9-foot-long Sunseeker 90 yacht, which cost him $4 million back in 2009. The yacht is docked in Monaco and boasts some of the most luxurious features, including a swimming pool, barbecue area, full-sized chef's kitchen, and cutting-edge entertainment system. He has entertained many models like Bella Hadid and Kendall Jenner on his yacht, and is no stranger to throwing lavish parties on it. But aside from his playboy lifestyle, another mistake did, which got him in trouble. On social media, Hamilton posted photos and videos of himself with threatened tigers. In one of the videos he recorded, a tiger was seen sneaking up on him and playing with him while nibbling his hat. This infuriated PETA when they saw it. The organization was so incensed by the F1 champ's behavior that they even released a pretty brutal statement. Seeing big cats used for photo ops promotes the idea that wild animals are here for human amusement and to do with as humans please, rather than to be left in peace in their own habitat. Ask any victim of a tiger or lion mauling, or the relatives of those who didn't survive one. They'll assure Lewis that cuddling exotic animals is a far more foolish move than tangling with Nico Rosberg. Damn! I guess we all know when Nico Rosberg comes into the picture, things get serious for Hamilton and his career. But when this another serious thing happened to Hamilton, it didn't just hurt his reputation, but also got him disqualified from F1. In his first title defense in 2009, Hamilton got involved in a big controversy. During the final laps in Melbourne, Hamilton passed Toyota driver Jarno Trulli during the late safety car period, as Trulli went off the road, which gave Hamilton all the chances to pass him and grab the third position. Then, in the next lap, Hamilton slowed down under the safety car to allow Trulli to reclaim third again. But after the race, Hamilton claimed that he had received no instruction to let Trulli pass, suggesting that the Italian driver had passed him illegally. Because of this, Trulli, who came in third, was given a 25-second time penalty and was dropped to 12th place. But as it turns out, this matter was far from over, as it was brought up again at the following race in Malaysia. Hamilton again, on the suggestion of team boss Dave Ryan, increased his accusations that Trulli had overtaken him while the safety car was in place. Fortunately for Trulli, McLaren's radio communications later revealed that it was Hamilton who intentionally allowed the Toyota driver to pass him, which he did in response to a pit lane order. As a result, this action got Hamilton later disqualified from the race for deliberately misleading the race steward. And because of this, Dave Ryan also got fired from McLaren, and a 3-race suspension was also imposed on the racing team. Whoa! Hamilton does have too much experience. But his F1 career wouldn't have happened at all if Hamilton decided to choose his other childhood dream. Lewis revealed that he might have been a professional football player if he wasn't a Formula 1 driver. The Brit is a well-known Arsenal fan who made this revelation when it was shockingly revealed that he was part of a bid to buy Chelsea FC. An Arsenal fan wants to buy its rival? Now that's interesting. Even Verstappen got confused by this. But even though Lewis is now a super famous F1 driver, surprisingly his stardom did not begin through F1. As a child, barely 6 years old, Lewis proved that he was made for TV. Appearing on a TV program, Hamilton was competing in a remote-control car racing competition with grown men and was the youngest boy by at least 15 years. He still managed to finish second in the Electric Class Championship and received an award for Best Newcomer. Clearly, he has racing in his blood, but this racing attribute hasn't always helped him, because one time when he was driving on the street, things went out of control. In October 2015, a week and a half after Hamilton won his third championship, he got involved in an accident. The Mercedes driver crashed his Pagani Zonda supercar. According to a police spokesperson, they revealed Hamilton's foot slipped on the brake and clutch pedals. Even though he passed a breathalyzer test, the British driver still admitted that the crash was his fault, blaming it on heavy partying and a fever. But while Hamilton believed in his mistake, he also believed in a superstition, which you might think is a bit crazy. It's not uncommon for F1 drivers to be superstitious. Sebastian Vettel used to keep fortunate trinkets in his race boots. Michael Schumacher liked to race with odd numbers. Sergio Perez carried a photo of the late Pope John Paul II inside his cockpit. And as such, Hamilton's no exception. Early in his career, the Brit was well known for driving with the odd number 11, but he later changed it to 44 in honor of his father's red Cavalier registration, which he thought to be his family's fortunate number. Surprisingly, he's since abandoned his superstitious views and conceded that everything was just in his head. But whether or not he believes in superstitions anymore, Lewis Hamilton has shown that he can create his own luck, as evidenced by how he paved his path on his own to Formula 1. At age 10, Hamilton had already set a record for the youngest driver to win the British Cadet Karting Championship in 1995. This earned him an invitation to the Autosport Awards presentation, which ultimately changed his life. Before he attended this event, young Lewis already made up his mind to race for McLaren upon seeing Ayrton Senna's "Racing is in My Blood" video nearly every day, as it featured his favourite driver and the car he thought looked the best. And so, at the ceremony, he walked up alone to McLaren's then boss Ron Dennis to make his own luck. So my dad goes, "That's Ron Dennis over there. He's the boss of McLaren that makes those cars that you love." So literally before my dad had finished explaining to me about Ron Dennis, I went over to him straight away. I tapped him on the side and I said, "Hi, I'm Lewis Hamilton, and I've just won the British Karting Championship, and one day I want to be Formula 1 World Champion in your car." And after that, Ron Dennis wrote in Hamilton's autograph book saying, "Phone me in 9 years, we'll sort something out." Fortunately for Hamilton, he did not need 9 years, as he was offered a role in the McLaren driver development program 3 years later, with a contract which included an option of a future F1 seat. And the rest is history. Because of the history he's created, Hamilton has received the honour of a knighthood. Sir Lewis Hamilton joined the ranks of Jackie Stewart, Sterling Moss and Jack Brabham as only the 4th Formula 1 driver